Hi everyone. Happy February and happy full moon. Come in and say hi when you're here. Just trying to get stuff situated here. That was a fast January. Slow and fast all at the same time. I'm excited to see what's in store for this first full week of February. So come on in, say hi. Let me know if you're watching a replay. And don't forget, if you're interested, I started the Divinely Connected community. So we got the full calendar set for in the community offerings webinars. We're offering a Community Connect live call along with live messages. Super excited to have our first full month over there. We are 2 weeks officially in. And it's just really shaping up to be such a beautiful environment. Hi, everyone. Hey, Amy, Stephanie, Michelle. Oh, we got the cards flying. I can't believe we are in this full moon energy. So a lot of like purging happening, a lot of energy releasing, really getting rid of that final shedding. So if you find yourself really emotional the last couple of days or even lethargic, this is why, okay? So you can expect that to lift over the next couple of days. And again, momentum and clarity, increasingly as we move through the month of February, which I think everybody is here for. Everybody is ready for that. All right. I just feel like I don't even have the cards flipped. I have them face down and I'm just like, am I ready? I'm bracing myself, guys. I'm bracing myself. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so early, I know. We're having another weekly snowstorm starting this evening into tomorrow. And I thought, you know what? I'm getting all my ducks in a row before that snow starts, because I just have this feeling it's going to kind of be like Fast and Furious. So I thought, we'll get this on. I got some errands I'm going to run, and then I am going to revert back into my pajamas. Into my jammies. That is my plan for today. And like I was just saying, you know, we're into this full moon energy. The moon last night was stunning. And that we're in this like final purge. But what I have been noticing in the conversations that I've been having, it's very emotional purging, even feeling a bit drained, a bit lethargic energetically. So if this has been you, you're not alone. This is this final purge and clearing out as we move into this really strong energy that's going to be coming in February. Not overwhelming energy. And not like intense, just strong, just firm, just centered energy, which I'm really, really looking forward to. So I do have 5 cards that we're going to start out with. Like I said, I just had them face down and then I was just like, oh my God. I am bracing myself for these cards. So let's see what's going on. So the High Priestess card comes out with the Balance card. I love this because there's very much, you know what is so amazing is that there is this message of being like unapologetically authentic. In the sense of like, I need to speak my truth. I don't want it to hurt others. I don't want to disappoint others. But if that is a reaction for me being honest and respectful to myself, then so be it, right? And so what you may be finding is that maybe there's going to be something that needs to be shared, or maybe you have to decline an invitation, or maybe you have to disappoint someone else to honor yourself, okay? And I don't mean this in a harmful way, right? I'm not encouraging bad behavior or hurtful words. I am saying if you are to people please someone, people please yourself. That's what you have to do here. And in that very kind of simplistic manner, okay? If you're going to spend your time and energy worrying about disappointing someone, make sure that someone is you. Okay? And I think that this is so important, so important. We do have the Balance. And this is again kind of going, you know what? This is not a year. And it's really showing up like in January. I think it has been very out of the box, out of the norm. And then February as well, because these kind of predictive guidelines or barriers or rigidness or rules that you have created for yourself are just no longer warranted in 2026. And so again, with that message of authenticity is allow yourself to want what you want, to feel what you feel, to change your mind, to, do what's best for yourself. And I think that this is really important. And so this balance is coming in by saying, instead of going, oh, I have to fit in this box, or I have to walk this way, or this is the way that it's always done, I have to continue doing it. You're finding the balance in the blessing of, I'm going to allow myself to be myself. And so if some days, if I'm not super pleasant, then I'm not. I don't have to go, oh my God, what's wrong with you? They're going to think that you're so mean, or they're going to think that you're so selfish, or whatever it is, right? You're going to allow yourself to just be who you are. And I think that this is going to be really beautiful. And I know that the egos, because I can feel it being pushed back on me, of being like, well, that's not how the world goes around, and that's not, but like, wouldn't it be so nice if we didn't have to mask? Wouldn't it be so nice if we could just be melancholy if we're melancholy without feeling bad about being melancholy? Okay, I think that's so important. I think that this feeling like we always have to show up and we have to perform and we have to pretend to be something that we aren't is us abandoning ourselves each and every time. And so the dialogue around this is that if we were to allow ourselves to be authentic, then we would be unappetizing and we would be unlikable. And that's also not true. Because I don't know about you, but when somebody shows up as their authentic self to me, I go, oh, now I get to be my authentic self. That's awesome. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't just breed ugly, because you're not. That's not what your soul is. That's not who you truly are. And it's the ugly is when we're lost. The ugly is when we're pretending to be someone that we're not. The ugly is when we're leaning into ego, right? If we're just allowing our soul true self to be, then that's beauty, that's love, that's unconditional love, that's peace, that's compassion that we can hold for ourselves and we can hold for others. And so there is this kind of cards on the table feeling that's coming in, and that's going to be prioritized. I feel like this is going to be something I say multiple times this year. It's going to be prioritized of saying, fighting that inner struggle of like, this is what I think that is expected of me, or this is what I think people want me to be, versus who I actually am, right? And allowing yourself to just be, right? This is definitely a lesson that I've learned doing what I do, because when I'm not working, there is still this feeling of people who aren't like known to me. They have this expectation or this preconceived idea as who I am. And guys, I can feel when you're disappointed that I am just a human being. And I used to feel bad about that, but I'm like, I am a human being, right? And so what if we just let ourselves be, right? And we just if people are disappointed that we are human, and that sometimes we're sad and sometimes we don't want to be productive on the highest level 24/7, that is okay too. And so there is this prioritizing authenticity, but this is all inner with you, right? Like this is inner with you in the sense that you are withholding yourself the peace and contentment and the allowance of being who you are, wanting what you want, feeling what you feel, right? This is not you against the outer world. This message is all about High Priestess going within. It's all about you versus you. That's that little voice in your head that tells you, you should be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. And you can't be doing this and you can't be doing that. And oh my God, they're going to think, right? That's this voice. This is what we're addressing. That voice is to zip it. That voice is to only say lovingly things. I feel the way that I feel, and that is okay. I am the way that I am, and that is okay. Okay? This week is coming in with a lot of reflection And I think that the reflection is to be prioritized. And if you try to push it and you try to make it productive, then you are going to hit roadblocks because there's the obstacle cards. Okay. So we do need to reflect. We need to go over again how you entered 2026 in January and how you left January 2026 is two different versions of yourself. So there is this need for this first week of February to revisit and go over, what do I actually want? What is actually important to me? What do I want to work towards, etc. Okay? So there is this reviewing and this reflection that's coming in. I keep feeling like I'm trying to like bite off more than I can chew, and then it's just going to be roadblock. So this is more of a internal slow-paced week for you to rebalance internally. Okay, rebalance internally and get clear. And like I said, this ego keeps rearing. And so you may go, this is what I want. And then the next day it's like, I want all this external stuff because then that's going to prove to me that I'm worthy to deserve. And we all know that that doesn't work, right? We all know that doesn't work. So there's almost this need to like reflect, reflect back and forth on soul ego, because we're still a little unsteady in that. And so getting clear on it, writing yourself a mission statement for 2026 would be so helpful. Having yourself a little bit of a like one sentence, an intention, a word that you kind of can come back to is going to be very helpful, because I still feel like we are, walking on wobbly legs trying to gain this momentum. And it's really going to take, into the second, almost third week of February till we feel more firm and steady. And so having that affirmation or having a typed out or journalized version of your intention or your mission statement for this year. I know, I shared with you last month that mine is connection. I'm working on bringing more connection into my personal life, into my professional life, creating opportunities for more connection. And so bringing us back to that, right, is going to be something. So if you take the time to sit with yourself, and like I said, how you entered into January and how you left January, there was a huge transformation that has taken place. And then this month we're moving out of the snake year and into the horse year. So again, another transformative month. This is this internal transformation that you need to bring this power or bring your attention to. And allow yourself to change your mind. Okay? You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to say, geez, I don't want that anymore. Geez, I thought that this was going to give me some worthiness, validation, happiness, joy, and it didn't. Let me shift gears. Let me change what I'm putting my mind and attention on. We get to change our minds. We get to grow. And oftentimes when you grow, you're like, oh my God, I was prioritizing the wrong thing, but I couldn't see it. Now I can see it. So as you shift and change, let yourself shift and change. Okay. We do have the Empress card coming out. Now there's very much this dreaming up. I think especially as we get to the second half of the week, there's going to be more creativity coming in. Okay. And so that's where we're getting, more creative. Like I feel like some of you, like literally creative, you're creating art or, sewing or knitting or creating a different energy to your space or whatever that is. Some of you, it's going to be very literal, like I am creating with my hands. For others, it's all of a sudden you can see the clarity in the creation of what I want next, what I want to work towards, what I want to create in my life, what kind of experience, relationship, opportunity do I want to work towards and create. And I do feel like that the universe turnaround is getting a little quicker, right? And so what's going to be really nice is that when we give the universe what it is that we want, and the universe is like, okay, here you go. It makes us it's easier to have faith. It's easier to keep going. So it's nice to see that there's a bit more quick turnaround connected to our wants, desires, and manifestations. There is a temporary pause that's coming in. This is unexpected. Okay, so this is appointments being canceled, getting sick, being snowed in, getting run down, something along those lines, where there is this kind of unexpected pause button. Okay, I think that at first you're going to have an emotional reaction to this because it's going to be inconvenient, or you're going to feel disappointed, but it's actually for your highest good. So think about everything that has come in this week, where we talked about inner journey, inner validation, what's really important. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get down to the bare bones here, because the foundation is where the change occurred. And so we have to revisit that to then build on top of it, okay? And so this pause, or this slowdown, or this obstacle that has cleared some time in your calendar is here to give you that, to give you the time. And like I said, emotionally, we may have some storyline around it, but in actuality, it is, the universe providing, as it always does. So let's use that time and energy to be like, if it was meant to happen, it would be happening. It's clearly not meant to happen. So what I'm going to do right now is use this time to go within. This time is cleared out for me. It is a gift for me. Let me meditate. Let me journal. Let me do some journal prompts. Let me brain dump. Let me reflect in written word of everything that I have learned over the last 12 to 18 months, right? What has gotten me here? Maybe, write down all the unexpected blessings that you had. What amazing way to remind yourself how dang lucky you are, how blessed you actually are. Okay. Because we forget that, our disappointments and when things don't work out tend to stay more in the forefront of our brains. Not so much when all the blessings, all the good things in our life. So wanting to, purposely remind yourself that, I think, would be really helpful. And again, this kind of clearing of the calendar is giving you that opportunity. We also do have the star card coming out. Now I do see a signature, and this feels a bit better because it's almost towards the end of the week. So this could be signing contracts, leases, financial papers, commitments, etc. This does feel good. It says, have faith that the future's bright, dreams come true, positive changes that bring end to challenging times, the light at the end of the tunnel. And I really do feel like when we get to about the 6th or the 7th of this month, we're going to feel that lightness. That being February 1st, you may not be feeling that lightness. For many of you, you're feeling under energized, feeling a little lethargic, a little bit teary. Right on cue. We are moving out of the final kind of 2025 energy. We're moving out of the snake energy. We're in this really clearing full moon yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And so really, be kind with yourself. The energy is going to come up, like I said, by the 6th and the 7th. You're going to feel more energized, more clear-headed, more like yourself. But almost like yourself from like 2019, right? Like there's just this kind of more energized, confident, centered version of yourself that's kind of coming back, but that you can, that feels familiar to you, which is really nice. And so happy to see that coming in towards the end of this week. And that's going to give you that like hope and reassurance as you move forward. Because although I do feel like the majority of you in January just went with the flow, just went with the January flow, there's still this kind of level of well, I didn't want to be doing this, right? This discontentment. Like I'm doing it. Right? We're not in resistance, but we're also like not pumped about it. And we're wanting to be pumped. We're wanting to be excited about life again. And that's what February is going to bring in. And it is a slow build. It is a consistent build throughout the month, starting out with lower energy because we're purging and we're tired, but rebuilding and bringing that up as we get through this week. And then by the end of week 2, there's going to be high energy, high clarity, kind of like this little motor inside of us that's like chugging along. And so take the pause while you got it, right? The pause is part of the path. The pause is part of the path, right? So just like as divinely timed our big milestones in life is, so are the pauses in the path, right? And so we're having a bit of a retreat season right now that is temporary and going to be wrapping up real soon. And if we're squandering this, right? Being cranky and muttering and complaining through our day-to-day life and using our energy in that way, which is very draining, guys, we're going to then not be prepared for this high energy that is right around the corner. So lovingly allow yourself to just be where you are right now. It's temporary. The light is there. We can see it. We can feel it. So we're going to allow ourselves to be as we are right now so that we are our best selves moving into this next season. All right, guys, I'm going to leave that with you. I hope that you have a wonderful first full week of February. I hope that you do not get snowed in. And if you live in Cape Breton, we need to get those storm chips. All right, take care, and I'll see you next week.